I'm Banks.
I'm Josh.
On
This is
going viral.
viral. I
There
was
we go.
trying to help you because you were drinking.
Again, put it aside.
So here's a question. If you're dropped in the middle of a foreign land, like right out of a helicopter, airplane, bam, you don't speak the language, you don't know a single person, how do you start your life over? What's the first thing you do, or what are the first couple things you do? I've heard this question before, and I've never really thought about it. But what what do you do first? You can't speak the language, none of that kind of stuff. You've got no possessions. You've got clothes on your back. That's it. So I'll give you that. You're not naked, but outside of that, you got nothing.
What about money? Do I have any money, or do I have to
You have
just?
no money. You have no money, no ID.
Hmm. All right. This is what I would do. I would become a mute, not speak.
I'm mute.
Yes,
Why?
because by not speaking, I have to listen all the time, and by listening, I think I would pick up the language pretty quickly.
But who would speak to you? How would you? I guess that's the.
I would presume that they would speak to me if I'm walking in a village or wherever it is. Let's say it's a city,
Yeah.
a village.
You find strangers. You find strangers like when you go to a city now. Do strangers just come up and start talking to you? Typically, or are they minding their own business?
They can. I mean, they will. I mean, yeah. I mean, some people do. I mean, I don't know. Very few do. I talk to strangers, or I used to talk to strangers before this. Um, so I would just listen and watch. Wouldn't speak.
Okay, and that's good for a few hours. Now you're getting obviously you got to eat, drink, shelter, all these other things. I'm talking like there's some immediate stuff you got to take care of. What are you doing?
I got a place to.
Are you,
I got to sleep someplace. So
right.
more than likely, I would try to find a forest, wooded area. I got to sleep. I got to eat. In the forest, I would look for things that I could possibly eat that might
Okay.
be recognizable. Like, hey, I can eat these blackberries or blueberries or strawberries.
Again, you're in a foreign land, so maybe you don't know what's edible or what's not. You don't have your little guide with you.
All right.
But maybe is there a way you can earn money or start trade? Maybe there's something. I'm just asking, like, how creative would you get to survive and to start thriving even?
So the first, let's say the first hour, I've got to check it out. I've got to find out where I am. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm in a village. Got it. Okay. The first hour. Second hour. I mean, in general, I'm not going to speak unless I'm spoken to, and then it's like
You're in a city. You're in a city. I don't want anything like a small little village where people know each other. No, let's say you're in a city.
I've got to check out the area. I've got to see, are there hotels? Do I think there are hotels? I don't know. I got to find a place to sleep.
Okay, so you find a hotel, but you have no money.
I have no money. Yeah, right. So I got to know where a hotel is. I have to find food. So food and sleep. Food is first probably. So I'm gonna search around and possibly find a restaurant that in the back has a place that throws away food. So I know I can go there and get some food, more than likely. Okay. Second, I've got to find a place to sleep, and this is all within the first 2 hours. I check out the place.
Right. So let's say you've done all this. Let's say you've taken care of your immediate needs. You're finding some scrap food. You're just getting by, but you want to start thriving. So now it's been a few days. You want to start you want to build a life. You don't want to just scrap for food for weeks and months and years on end, right?
Okay. So then I would smile at everybody I met.
Okay. Now we're getting. This is interesting now. Okay.
I would smile at everybody. I wouldn't ask them for anything. I would just smile.
Okay.
After that, I think some connections would create. The possibility of a smile leading to a connection will happen. In that regard, if I can create a relationship with at least one person, maybe one person a day. Okay, so I've got my food, I've got a place to sleep. One person a day I have to create a relationship with. Okay? If it's a hi, if it's a smile to a smile, if it's they give me something, or I find something and I give it to them, you know. So I would go with connection.
Good.
Secondly, with the connection, that would lead to learning the language. I would have to learn the language. So at some point, I'm going to have to speak. And by speaking, learn the language, know the 5, 10 words that I need to do to get by on.
Right. Just enough to get by.
Right.
I mean, you can mime stuff out, you can do other things, you know, but a few keywords.
I think in that whole smiling section, I would perform, street perform.
Let me ask you a question. Where does becoming fluent in their language rank among your priorities? Becoming fluent. I don't mean like even conversational. Where does that rank? Is that pretty up there? Like you got to do that thing first, or there's other stuff you got to take care of first?
I got to eat and I got to find a place to sleep. That's first.
Yeah.
Almost.
And make some money and provide some value and smile and
Right. So I think that as a street performer, I would be like a mime. Like I would not speak. I would create some sort of environment on the street to make money. Okay, that would lead me to connections, which would lead me to the connections would lead me to a regular job or
okay.
someplace getting into society. Now, Josh, turn around. You.
One last question though. How would you feel if you were able to accomplish all that? Would you feel pretty accomplished, successful? Like, wow, I had nothing and now I actually, how would that feel? Would you be appreciative? Would you think?
Oh my gosh, yes. To be accepted in that culture, in that civilization, in that city, yes. I mean, that is where I live now. That's my home. That is my home.
You know what I wonder? You know what I wonder?
What?
I wonder if that's how immigrants feel. I wonder if that's how immigrants feel when they come in and they don't speak the language and they're doing their best. They're smiling. They're so appreciative. They're doing what they can. That's all. I was just wondering if that's kind of like, if I think what you described is their journey. I'm not an immigrant. I can't speak to that directly, but using this thing called empathy, which most of us have, not everyone. I wonder if that's what it's like.
Yeah. How would you handle it? How would you come in to a?
It would be very similar. I would immediately get to work as far as I would like signal in mind, like, let me sweep or let me cook. Can I wash for food? I would immediately go to and try and find some way to trade or earn money. That would be kind of my first thought. And if I have to sleep in a dumpster, if I got to sleep in the forest or whatever, in the meantime, absolutely. I would smile with everyone. I love that idea. That's awesome. Just the smile and just being so appreciative. Absolutely, I would do that. And I would still try and learn the language, but I can't imagine that would be the first thing on my mind. You know,
At some point you have to communicate on a
yes.
higher level than just.
Yes, not right away. I don't think that would be the first thing on my mind.
Yeah,
That's all.
Now that you've made it to an immigrant kind of perspective, by not speaking, I would not be scaring people away. If they would hear an accent and they would be like, you know, because some people are xenophobic.
Intolerant? Yeah.
Yeah, who do not, they're not like me or they don't speak like me. So if I don't speak, that's one less thing that would make me be pushed away from these people. They would be pushed away from. So I would do that because I think that deep down inside, we are more tolerant of a mute than we are of immigrant.
Yeah. We don't have enough to judge on. I guess that's probably why.
So you take that away, and gosh, where did this come from? Where did this idea come from?
Just made it up. I really don't even know. I was just, as you were speaking, honestly, I wasn't planning going to the immigrant. It's just as you were speaking, it made me think like, I think this is what immigrants must go through. I think this is kind of their journey. And I just think it's a different perspective that if we would understand and appreciate it, we might treat them with more compassion.
Well, the way, I mean, as a filmmaker, you have to find the emotional thread.
Yeah.
And when you find that emotional thread, and this is for people to be accepting of immigrants, when you find that emotional thread, as in looking in the mirror and seeing that person was me,
Yeah.
or that person was my great great grandfather coming to the country, 100 years ago,
Now
then
it ties together.
yeah,
Yeah.
then we're empathetic. Then it's like that is a person trying to make it happen, trying to live, trying to thrive, be alive, in a new land that they don't know. They don't know what's going on.
So, and honestly, where this is coming from, the bigger picture is I think we're very spoiled in this country, and I try and remind myself every day to not be. And for that reason, for that very, very reason, just because I've been here long enough and I know the language and I have income and I have everything I need, that's a recipe for being spoiled and recipe for disaster. Anyways,
That's a good another topic. I'm Banks.
I'm Josh.
Odd places going.
By roll.
Right.